Hi YouTube, I'm Tandy, the Pioneer Guy. I've recently made a Patreon where you can help me make content full-time. That Patreon link's going to be in the description below. If you like the video here on YouTube, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button at the end. Thanks for watching. Alright folks, we're here with Shredder Phoenix. This is a new build of Is It Phoenix that was built by McWinsauce on MTGO. Recently took second place in a large weekend event, and it looks pretty cool. A lot different than what we're used to seeing in the Arclight Phoenix decks in Pioneer. Piece of the Puzzle has been a pretty big piece of the Arclight Phoenix decks for a while now, helping fuel the graveyard for the hard to delve but extremely powerful Temporal Trespass. This version moves away from Temporal Trespass in favor of 4 Treasure Cruise because it works so well with the card Ledger Shredder. Now, Ledger Shredder, you probably know what it is by now. 2 mana, 1/3 bird. Flies. Whenever any player casts their second spell of a turn, it gets connives. And connives is loot, and if you loot a spell, you get +1/+1 counter. The fact that it works on your opponent's stuff means it's pretty good against burn spells sometimes, which is pretty sweet. It gets bigger, it lets you filter, but the big thing is it lets you loot for Arclight Phoenix. And since we don't have Faithless looting, or really any good 1-mana looting effect in Pioneer, having a 2-mana creature that can loot and also be aggressive is a godsend. You know, Azorius Prodigy dies to all the 1-mana shocks, all the stomps and things like that, but Ledger Shredder dodges all that stuff pretty well. And also considering you can play it and then play another spell on like turn 3 and then loot an Arclight Phoenix means that you're not going to have them rotting in your hand, whereas Azorius Prodigy has Summoning Sickness and will usually die before you get to loot with it. This deck looks very similar to everything we've seen in the past as far as Phoenix decks are concerned. This one looks way more like what I would call a traditional Phoenix deck, whereas the builds that we've been seeing a lot lately are like Pieces of the Puzzle, Temporal Trespass, and Galvanic iteration. And that little wombo combo just allows you to steal some games by taking a bunch of turns. But what I think is that deck lacks the ability to win against Graveyard Hate. I think Graveyard Hate's extremely good against that build. They are heavily reliant on Thing in the Ice and Crackling Drake after sideboard to get the job done, whereas our deck can just beat down with Ledger Shredder, and I think that you're going to see that in these games that we play. You're really going to see Ledger Shredder shine. This build playing 4 Treasure Cruise means that we're a bit more insulated against interaction. Any sort of creature removal or discard is going to be negated because of the big draw spells. Pieces of the Puzzle help do that as well, but Pieces is just a bit expensive, but now we just get to do it a lot more often for just 1 mana. We're going to be playing, obviously, the 8 Consider Ops. Those are just some of the more powerful card selection effects, but they're also just ways to trigger Phoenix, trigger Ledger Shredder, put things in the graveyard for Treasure Cruise. We have 3 Lightning Axe, 3 Fire Impulse, and 2 Flame Blast Bolt as our removal of choice. The Lightning Axes are particularly good with Phoenix. Many builds of Phoenix play 4 Axe to discard, but now that we have Ledger Shredder, we don't necessarily need to play 4. It is card disadvantage, after all. 4 copies of Expressive Iteration, one of the best spells ever printed, I think. 3 Chart of Course, excellent dig effect that allows you to discard Phoenix. And then we have a couple of singletons, 1 Brazen Bar, and 1 Crackling Drake to give us a little bit of interaction or insulation from creature removal and random permanents. So lands, most of the dual lands, we're only playing 2 Stormcarved Coast because it does enter tapped on 1 and 2, which can be awkward sometimes, especially when combined with Hall of the Storm Giants. 1 Odawara, 1 Sokonzan, couple islands. Sideboard, 1 Stern Dismissal. This card's a little wonky, but it's a 1-mana bounce spell at the very least, which can be good. And then it can also target enchantments, which enchantments are sometimes a little weird for us. 1 Ether Gust, 1 Negate, 2 Thing in the Ice. This is kind of a nod to like Winota, other creature-based decks that can be problematic. The Things in the Ice are quite strong out of the sideboard, but they're very bad against Fatal Push decks or combo decks. Whereas Ledger Shredder can hit hard while filtering and putting Phoenix in the graveyard and such. 3 Mystical Dispute to help out against the other blue decks. 2 Narset to really hammer the other decks to try to draw a bunch of cards, including the Core of the Pages combo deck with Lotus Field. 1 Charger Tortured Defiance as a sideboard threat that's hard for decks to deal with that would normally hit you with Graveyard Hate or creature removal. 1 Anger of the Gods to help clean up the board, as well as exile something. I know that exiling Phoenix is bad, but you'll never cast Anger with a Phoenix in play unless it's super desperate. Anger is there for the turns before you get Phoenix onto the battlefield. One Fry, and then lastly, 2 Chandra's Defeat, which is currently taking the place of Red Cap Melee because it does 5 instead of 4. Because we're not playing Soulscar Mage, I think Chandra's Defeat is just better. The Red Cap Melees do basically the same thing except just 1 less damage, but you can kill a non-red creature with them. Chandra's Defeat is only for the mono-red matchup where in desperation mode you could sometimes bring in Red Cap Melee to help out against Winota, and then you could use it to kill a Chariot in some weird spots. But sacking a land I think is a little too detrimental in this deck, so we're not going to do it. Anyway, that's Shredder Phoenix. Let's go ahead and get to the matches. I got plenty of friends who who used to play Magic that I'm still good friends with that they don't really play Magic anymore. All right, there Yorion. I don't think we can keep this hand. Turn 2, consider digging for a land. I'm good. I'll just mulligan. We'll keep this one. Since they're Yorion, I'm going to put back in a Fire Impulse, I believe. This might come back to bite us, but hopefully it won't. I think I'll lead with Storm Carved. And just really hope they don't play like, oh, what's the old, Search for Escanta? Just hope they don't play Search for Escanta. Because I want to be able to Pierce Opt on 2. I guess I could go Pierce Opt on 1, Pierce Opt on 2, and then Storm Carved on 3 untapped. Maybe that's actually better. Because I'm not vulnerable for the turn. Alright, well, it didn't matter, thankfully. Play this on blue. We'll probably go for a Pieces next turn, even though it gets hit by Censor or whatever. Maybe they'll go for, I'm going to let this resolve. I can't let Narset resolve, I don't think, so. Oh, that sounds cool, Ryan. I wish they would do that for a lot of cards. I wish they'd do that for a whole lot of cards. I always thought the Surveil deck was so close to being potentially good, you know? Alright, Opt here. We'll put Phoenix on the bottom. I don't really want to draw it. I can't do draw discard just yet. I'm going to play Ledger Shredder. This plays around the counterspell as well. And then if they play something I can pierce, I get to connive. If I knew I was drawing Ledger Shredder, I might have actually kept the Phoenix, but... Cycle Shark Typhoon for 0, that's fine. Next turn, I'll go Shock Pieces and then Pierce to protect. If I don't play the Pierce this turn. I don't really want to just run headfirst into Verdict. I'm going to go for Pieces. Play around the Censor. I guess I'll just take Axe and Impulse. They're not going to do much, but maybe they'll do something at some point. Though we can maybe discard them to the Ledger Shredders. We're going to attack. If they go for the Wandering Emperor, we'll Pierce and get a Connive out of it. If they EOT play it, I'm going to be very sus. Very sus. Because that means they were going to do it no matter what. But they're playing around my Pierce so they don't take an extra Connive damage. That's kind of fucked up. I think I let Deluge resolve. I need to counter like their 4s and 5s that affect the board. But the card draw, like their deck is just infinite card draw. And if they were low on resources, I might Pierce it. But to be fair, Shredder was only hitting for 1. Yeah, I know. But... What's up, Kev? Hope you're doing well. Supreme Verdict. That's fine. We played around as best we could. Now we can go... If we draw a land, we actually have a nutty turn. Actually, I think I'm gonna chart a course. I got 3 draws to find the land. I got a bunch of burn spells I can pitch. And I want to make the treasure cruise only cost 1. Now I could cruise now, but I still want to keep holding up Spell Pierce. I really don't want him to stick it to Teferi. I think something like Teferi would be very hard for me to deal with at the moment because we don't have a Phoenix. Put that in the grave. All right, Fateful Absence is fine. Man, they are playing around that Spell Pierce something fierce, huh? I have 1 Spell Pierce in my deck, and they have literally just danced around it at all points. And I don't even think it was that good. I actually expect them to play Wandering Emperor there, to be honest. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it's sus, kind of. All right, we're just gonna hold up Pierce and crack the clue token. I guess they don't technically know we're Phoenix yet. We haven't shown them a Phoenix, but we did play pieces. All right, we don't really care if they stick a Wandering Emperor here, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw a card with the clue. Use my mana. The Wandering Emperor also lets me crew, and I can't stop a 2-mana removal spell anyway. I could have stopped that though. All right, we'll connive. We'll just discard the axe. Basically, just don't need removal in game 1 in the matchup. All right, now if we hit 2 Phoenix though, if we get lucky. All right, let's go for. Let's start with the cruise. Get the whole graveyard. We'll look for like Charter Course or something to discard the Phoenix. Let's go iteration. Let's go consider in hand. All the Storm Giants off to the side. Still looking for a looting effect. I want to keep the cruise though. I guess I'll keep the Crackling Drake too. Maybe not though. Should have kept this, probably the River Glide pathway. Maybe should have just discarded the Spell Pierce now. I have a feeling we can still get him with it though. I mean, right now we can just Spell Pierce a Deluge. All right, we'll start with Expressive. Let's see. I'll go Arclight in hand, Charter Course to the side. I only have 18 cards left in the deck. I'm going to keep the Otawara because I might need it to bounce it to Fairy before it ultimates. I'm going to discard Pete, or I guess I'll discard Phoenix. If we get settled, I'm going to be big Sag. I'm going to send all 3 of the Teferi, try to get it off the table. I can't beat a settle, though, so I'm just going to go for it. I always have it, man, huh? Oh, Wandering Emperor? That's fine. Alright, 1 gets exiled, that's fine. Ganjo another. Ganjo's fine. Just because of the graveyard. Fairy's still alive, though, which sucks. See, we've already played a land, right? So I'll go ahead and cruise and look for the last Phoenix to discard. Alright, we're going to discard all these lands intertapped. Maybe this Pieces is too gross now. Maybe not, though. Yeah. Not really digital. We can still win, but we are losing right now. Opponent has played fairly suspect around my 1-up Spell Pierce the whole game. Just gonna go ahead and concede. Feels like they are stream sniping a little, but they could just be legit great. Best player I've ever met. Everyone on Magic Online seems to be extremely good always, you know? Alright, so most of these removal spells can come out. We're going to bring in a bunch of these anti-blue stuffs. I don't really want the things in the ice. I do want the Chandra. We'll bring in Negate, Narset, Dispute. Just board out all the removal. I don't think I can keep this one. Definitely can't keep this one. I'll just put back 2 lands, I guess. Just hope we draw some stuff for Ledger Shredding. So we can pitch the Phoenix. We'll go ahead and play this. This gets around Counterspell. It also means that if they want a 2-mana removal, there's very few of them. But March means they have to pitch an extra card. I kind of want to wait on this opt. Is that weird? Like, it's unlikely we hit to necessarily. We're definitely not going to hit to get the Arclight into play this turn. So I think I'm just going to wait and then just start the chain next turn. Obviously, if they play Narset, we'll play opt and try to play around it, but well, I guess it didn't matter. I guess next turn we'll just hardcast Arclight Phoenix. I know it's not the best play in the world, but it's better than nothing. Maybe I should have just hardcasted that turn and attacked. They missed their land drop? That's great news for me. I'm hitting all mine. Now we have the bug where all my mana stays floating. They missed a land drop though, so that means that their 7 spells are going to be kind of hard for me to fight through probably. I guess I can just play a 6-mana Treasure Cruise next turn. Shark Typhoon for 1, that's fine. Yeah, maybe Miller, I'm not sure. Like, dangerously close to activating Hall of the Storm Giant. Alright, I guess we'll just play the land and keep holding up the gate. Don't want to just run Treasure Cruise into Absorb. Technically ahead on board. Negate Teferi incoming? No, they're watching the stream. They'll know to play around it. Going for March with 2 mana. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they are for sure, but game 1 was weird. Even that play was weird. Pitching an extra card for that. It just worked. It just worked. All right, so we'll go. I got to play the cruise. So I guess we go Pierce off to the side. We'll go Shredder in hand, Phoenix on bottom. I guess I can't even do that. I guess I'll just play the Shredder, huh? Oh well. It was a bad iteration. I guess I should have put Ledger off to the side and put Pierce in hand or Phoenix in hand. But I missequenced. I thought I had more cards in the graveyard, but I don't. Drawing spells now, baby. All right, well, I'm going to lose to the Wandering Emperor here. I kind of don't even want to attack with the Phoenix. It's just too much damage to leave behind, though. All right. We can't kill him with the Hall off of land, so we'll just look to probably kill the Wandering Emperor here. We'll ledge him up. Shred him up. I guess we have to discard. This is a force loot. Okay. All right, we're going to attack the Wandering Emperor here. Woof. So we don't get verdicted. They're tapping fast though. FastTapper.com. All right, Cruise here is good. Chandra's cruising to Chandra's great. I think a card's worth more than 2 damage. Put Arc's like fixing your graveyard? Yes, please. Another haul. Good lord. That was a great sequence. Let's see how they get rid of the Chandra. Next turn I can activate Haul and attack for 7. Steve, we're playing some Shredder Phoenix today, baby. Alright, let's start with Iteration. See if this one resolves. This one's absorbed. That's fine. All right, let's see if we're gonna be able to get Phoenix off the off the graveyard into the battlefield. Do we want the Soken's on? I guess Soken's on is pressure. That's actually not terrible. And let's go ahead and I guess I just go ahead and smash for 7. We're just putting pressure on them from multiple points here. They're low-ish on resources as well. Only 3 cards in hand. They have to deal with this 6 loyalty Chandra. They're at 7. 1 haul hits lethal. We have Soken's on to go after them too. Guess we'll start with pieces and see if we hit anything cool, like a way to bring back multiple Phoenix. We'll take Iteration and Cruise. Let's go for Iteration. We'll do Borrow in hand and Consider to the side. Play the Consider. Put that in the grave. Dispute's great. Dispute's a great draw. And we'll bring back the Phoenix. Let's look at the top card though, see if we want to cast it. Yeah, sure. Just put more pressure on them different ways. We don't have Dispute up this turn, but we'll get value out of it later if things go wrong. Since we have the Haul, they kind of have to hold up a bunch of mana every turn to not die to the Haul. Now the question is, do I even attack with the Phoenix and let them play their Wandering Emperor? I think maybe no. I think maybe no with a Chandra in play. And the Hall of the Storm Giants. I think I just say go. Nice. So we'll just chump block with the Phoenix if they put a counter on it and give it first strike, because we can get it back pretty easily with this Cruise. Also playing around Typhoon by not attacking? Yeah, that's true too. They also just need to be able to get the Chandra off the table or else they're dead. Nice. Close one. Or they're deluging. This is the 3rd time I've mulliganed this, or 4th time I've mulliganed this match. I just want an opening hand with like some lands and spells in it, huh? It's rare you need the second Haul, so we'll put it back. Rest in Peace is kind of a nightmare. Wish this was a Narset now. We do have a few ways to bounce the Rest in Peace, so I might go for like a Borrower or an Odawara bounce and then go for a big turn on my own turn. I think I'm going to go for a charge, just discard Flame Blast. I need to get a little deeper in my deck, find some things that do anything. But Rest in Peace, still brutal. Still one of the reasons why I haven't loved playing this deck for a while. Do I care about the Omen? I kind of do. I kind of feel like they're light on resources. And if they miss a land drop next turn, that would be great for me. I might actually have a shot to win if they miss a land drop. They play Narset, that's fine. We'll go ahead and Phoenix and attack it for 3. If they kill Phoenix, we'll do it again. I'll fucking do it again! But they missed the land drop. That's a huge deal. And the only way they can stop both Phoenixes next turn is with multiple marches pitching stuff, or just they need 2 removal spells next turn for 2 Phoenix. Alright, looks like they go ahead and cash in this one. See what they get. They get a Dispute. Play another one. See if they're going to minus. No. Okay, so now we can play Phoenix. Attack. And then kill Narset. And then hold up Dispute. Now we just hope they don't Verdict. Verdict plus Rest in Peace is brutal. I'm not going to opt. I'm just going to wait till my turn where I have all my mana up. All right, we're going to attack for 6. Use the Dispute aggressively to protect our creatures. Play Chart a Course post-combat to draw 2. I'm going to go ahead and play I'm going to play this first in case I draw a tapped land that I want to play. If they go for Absorb, I think I might fight. I really don't want them to have the life, and I would love the 2 cards. And I can't counter the Supreme Verdict anyway. And countering the Wandering Emperor costs 3 that I'm not even sure that I want to do. Alright. Alright, we're going to say go. We're going to hold up Dispute and hope they don't have Verdicts. There it is. Rip. Land 4. We kept them off of it for a long time, but can't do it forever. Now, we do have the Hall of the Storm Giants that can come in, but I'm going to go for Ledger Shredder plus Opt here. We're a little short of doing it anyway this turn, so their Field of Ruin is going to be online for it next turn. All right, we will get a Connive, though. I'm going to... Soakin's on as pressure might be okay. We basically just need any and all pressure at this point. Because they have the Rest in Peace. All right, we're just going to attack for 2, and we're going to fight over some counter spells, or fight with some counter spells in a second. We'll go EOT Soakin's on. Could have floated a mana. Doesn't do a ton. I don't want him to know that I have things to do with my mana necessarily. Yo, DCMTG. Welcome to Todd Squad. Thank you for the sub arena, my friend. Glad to have you. First time sub. Let's get some sub rats in the chat for a new friend. All right, I'm going to go ahead and opt, looking for a spell to play for this other Shredder. I don't want to play the other Shredder necessarily. I don't think I'm going to either. Now we have Negate plus Dispute against a white card. We know they have Dispute, so it's going to be kind of hard to win the counter fight. So we basically need to have them initiate first on the counter spell. Faithful absence. That's okay. Gonna dispute the absorb. I'm gonna shock so I can play negate plus pay for dispute. All right, Phoenix here's lethal. We can hardcast Treasure Cruise. Chart of Course is good. We can't present lethal here with just our attackers, so I'm going to attack first so I get the extra card off of Chart of Course. And I may go Ledger Shredder first. Let's see if they march a token. If they march a token, that means we know that their last card is Dispute. I don't love having to loot away the piece of the puzzle. It is what it is. All right, we'll go ahead and play this pieces. No, we'll wait. We don't want to run into the Mystical Dispute if we don't have to. If they wrath us, we just play Phoenix and attack. If they don't wrath us, then it's going to be hard for them to do much. Loving the Pioneer content? Thanks, friend. All right, wow. Close match. Sick match. All right, we're going to take a break. Yeah, exactly. Their Magic is so full of corner cases that it's like the English language, you know? Like, there's an exception to every rule, and every rule is only as good as how easily you can break it. We're going to keep because we're on the draw. Opponent's mulliganing to 5. Colorian says, hey, Tandy, as the Pioneer expert, what would be your top 3 decks you'd recommend for a local 1K this weekend? I think the Shredder Phoenix deck is legit. I think Winota's still extremely messed up and powerful. And third one's basically flavor. There's like 6 decks you can choose between. And I would, maybe lean Mono Red. I think Mono Red's pretty good right now. All right, so they're on 5. I think because they're on 5, I'm going to go ahead and axe the Elf pitching Phoenix. All right, so they're Winota, so I think that's good that we did that. Oh, Keratin, never mind. They're just the white splash of this deck. Let's hope we hit land. We did. We'll go and play it. Next turn, we'll iteration looking for lands. All right, no cards in hand, but they have a ton of mana. All right, so we'll go... I think I just want both lands. I don't know if I want the borrower. So we'll go this in hand and Spire Bluff off to the side. We'll say go. Will EOT consider? I'm going to play 2 Ledger Shredders, and the next turn we'll bring back the Phoenix. I can discard a cruise. I don't think we'll need all 3 cruises. I definitely don't need pieces and cruises. We're just going to be Ledger shredding it up pretty bad, so I think I'm just pitch the pieces. I might not need the land, but I want the extra counter on the Ledger Shredder. Now we can actually pressure Planeswalkers too, which is sick. Oh, we didn't have a third spell. I'm an idiot. Well, I'm not an idiot. We just didn't have a third spell. We did beat that blue-eyed player, Digital. We did. Storm time. Let's see. Maybe we're supposed to keep pieces over one of the cruises. I really just need to draw an untapped land, though, was the big problem. All right, so they hit Karn plus Cavalier. They can go get a thing that shuts off our 3 Phoenixes, though, so we're probably going to lose now. That sucks. Storm the festival, huh? Oh, so they can't quite... they have to just go get something that stops the Phoenixes. We should be all right. I mean, maybe. What does Flame Blast Bolt do? Doesn't even kill the Karn. Oh, they can't rebuy the Cav? Oh, I guess they will block, huh? Let's see. I'm gonna pitch a cruise, I guess. It's gonna be hard to trigger the second one anytime soon. Not that hard, but... I guess the Cavalier doesn't even block these correctly. Or, I say correctly, but, you know, blocked it well. They don't even have to block. All right, we'll threaten to bring back the Phoenixes now, and we'll attack just face with these two. They'll eat the graveyard. That's fine. And then they'll block, and then we'll play a Flame Blast Bolt, and then maybe a Ledger Shredder. I don't know if we played a land yet. We have? Okay. All right, let's hope they whiff. I don't think they have 10 mana. Maybe they do. I think they do, actually. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they can flash back the Storm. Oh, they're just playing a big boy Voracious. Okay. I discard some extra lands. So they got to deal with this somehow. We still have 2 Shredders coming in. We can cruise next turn. Troll's fine-ish. Thunderwalk, I think that's a lot of cards to play in a deck like this. Or a lot of, let's see. I'm trying to pump my creatures. Give me a second. I'm thinking. I'm going to discard a land. The Hall's not really going to do anything. I'll just discard Hall. It's fine. The Axes at least can maybe double axe a 5/6. I like this build if you miss the turn spells. I don't think that build works well with Ledger Shredder. I think that they're just two different decks that are very similar. But the Ledger Shredder build wants 4 crews. All right, they're dead. It's fine. GG. Nice. The Ledger Shredder build wants Treasure Cruise because you just need cards to actually loot. You also just fill your graveyard very easily with Ledger Shredder. The other build is more like Splinter Twin, where your goal is to assemble Galvanic plus Trespass with Phoenix. And they're just kind of different decks that just play a bunch of the same cards. I think we do want Thing in the Ice here. We do want Ether Gust. I want the Anger. And the Spell Pierce is okay, but it gets dead quickly. And we're on the draw. I guess that means we can maybe counter something on 3. But it'll be so bad in the late game that I think I don't want it. What's bad? I guess maybe our graveyard's going to get hit a bunch, so pieces can go. Maybe a cruise. I guess we just want to kill everything early, so maybe a cruise isn't that bad. And I do kind of want the negate too, I think. I don't really want Chandra. The bar is okay. Can maybe get us out from underneath a Karn tutor effect. I don't know that I want all the removal. Like, it's good to kill the elves on 1, though. It does slow them down. But they are pretty bad late. And the lightning axes specifically aren't that great. They just don't kill a ton. So maybe I just do this. I'm going to try it. I might have to ask McWinsauce for his thoughts on the deck in this matchup. I don't know that I can keep this hand. We don't have interaction, and we don't really have a good clock. And if I miss land drops, I just die. All right, this hand's a bit better. It's a good 6. We'll put back the island, I guess. Keep the Odawara in case we want to use it later. We flood out a bit. I'll go ahead and pop the elf and then play Shredder on 2 and then iteration on 3. Mind you, they did mull to 5 that game, but they had a bunch of mana on 4 and then did nothing, and then on 5 or 6 they played a Storm the Festival. Their deck is just all mana, you know. All right, let's go Riverglide Shredder. I think I made a big mistake last game too. I wasn't able to bring back the Phoenixes, and I could have maybe played it so that I could have discarded differently, kept pieces over a cruise, and I think that would have maybe locked it up. I think I maybe cast a Shredder when I didn't need to also. All right, so we get the loot effect here. We'll just pitch a Steam Vents. I need the iteration, and all my other stuff's land, so. Well, if we could draw a spell, that'd be tight. All right, so we got to go chart in hand, chart on bottom, and haul off to the side. Play the haul. I'm gonna attack for 1. Not the best draws after our opener, but it is what it is. We can maybe loot some bad stuff away. Cavalier. Finds a Storm the Festival in Forcha, but they don't have Nykthos yet, so that's good news. All right, let's start with the chart. Man, our sequencing here is not bad, but we're just getting really screwed. We just like can't even trigger Ledger Shredder because we're just drawing too many lands. Can't attack. Karn's gross. Maybe gets crypt, maybe gets something worse. Portable hole? Okay. Guess we'll just discard Sokunzan. We'll keep Odawara. I want the Stormcarved Coast. All right, cruise for 2. I'm gonna play Thing in the Ice. Guess I'm gonna kill an elf. I have the guts for the Cavalier now. Our life total is under duress. The Karn is the problem, though. The Karn can get anything here that's really bad for us. Even just the Godfair statue is pretty tough. Meteor Golem. Meteor Golem sucks too. We could actually beat Meteor Golem. I don't think we could beat the thing that makes all our shit cost 3 more. Like, how do we win? Well, that's another story, but, you know. I think I'm going to play the Otawara. Discard Spire Bluff. Found another Cavalier. Guess we'll just gust it. I don't know that we're going to be able to get the Thing in the Ice off. I think we just have to win with some birds now. We can block the Meteor Golem, though. They can't plus the Karn on it, because it's already a creature. Take the 5 down to 4, or they don't even attack. That's fine. Anger could be good here. Let's see. Do we just pitch the opt? I guess so. Flame Bust Bowl was a perfect draw. So the Cavalier comes down. Again, they still have Storm in the graveyard, but they still don't have Nykthos. All right, so I'm going to go Anger. And then I'm going to go for Expressive. And this is going to give us the Connives. So we'll go Impulse in hand. Opt to the side and cruise. We'll go Shock. Impulse one of these. It gets exiled forever. These attack, they have to trade with Drake, and it also gets exiled, and then they take 6, and they're dead next turn. Anger of the Gods was the perfect card to hit there. Wow, what a game. That was a sick game. All right, round number 3. Playing Shred and Phoenix. Thanks again to Gem for the huge raid. Appreciate you, fam. We have the axe. I'm gonna keep. I've mulliganed so much. I'm tired of mulliganing. I've mulliganed so many times. Island. That cannot bode well for my lightning axe plan. But maybe the Ledger Shredder does bode well, huh? We got a lot of things to discard. Ooh, Mirror. Mirror. Ooh, not the Mirror. I'm gonna go and shred them up. Next turn, if we draw a 1-mana thing, I might go for the Consider to try to get Phoenix's back play. Opponent's so good. Missed a land drop, though. I'm going to wait on the Consider because our hand's so mana dense. And maybe just even hardcast Phoenix next turn. Alright, now if we draw removal, we can maybe chain together some stuff. Alright, I'm just going to play Phoenix as a blocker. Force them to interact. Hope they don't have a thing that exiles. Because we're so mana heavy. They have the Flame Blessed Bolt. That's brutal, chat. That's a brutality. Alright, let's go Consider. We'll keep it. Chart a course. We'll discard Spire Bluff. And then I'll go ahead and play Fire Impulse on this. And that'll get back a Phoenix. Now they can play 2 spells in response to grow it. If they do that, I'll just axe it, I guess. I could have axed, but I feel like saving the axe for later might be better in case... I don't know if they have Thing in the Ice, but they might. Oh, they have Gigantha. They put Gigantha in hand. That's something that Lightning Axe can kill pretty well. Although I guess I'll bounce it first and then play the Borrower. I'm going to go ahead and play my Steam Vents as well. I'll play with fire. That's okay. Damn, their land's entering tapped. Alright, player 5 drop Batty. That's fine. We're going to bounce it and then play our Borrower. Alright, we're just going to pay the mana and kill it. Pay the mana's money. I don't think Borrower's going to survive for very long. Maybe Pierce can tag something cool, though. Alright. I'm going to let this resolve because I want to maybe chain together stuff for Phoenix on my turn. What's up, card bros? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Alright, that's a good start. We'll go land in hand, land on bottom, iteration off to the side. Iteration again. We'll go opt in hand, Consider to the side. I'll go Consider. I'll keep pieces around. We'll bring back Phoenix. Attack for 3. If they go for a removal spell... Alright, I'm going to kill this now. I figured if they had something, they would have tried to kill Phoenix. Tilt. What are they could they might not have it, you know. All right. That's fine. We're not taking that damage on their turn this so that's nice. Shredder. Okay. Soul Scar, okay. Discard a Reckless Rage. It's very likely that even if we play this opt, we can still trigger Phoenix because we have the pieces. So we're going to go ahead and bottom. Play it now. Alright. We'll take another pieces and a treasure cruise, I guess. We're gonna cruise. Looking for removal here. If we get Pierce here, that'd be bad. Let's see, we'll take, I guess, Flame Blast Bolt and Consider. I'm gonna play Hall. Bring back Phoenix. I don't want to play defense with it. We can block Shredder and Flame Blast Bolt it. We might die this turn. I felt like they discarded Reckless Rage last turn. So I just kind of felt like they just had a spell to play. But they did get to loot off the Shredder on my turn as well. But they discarded a land, luckily. So it didn't get too big. Healing Iteration was pretty good, though, for them. Not hitting another Phoenix. It's kind of brutal. Off the 2 pieces. How dead are we? Pretty dead. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're at 1. We have the Hall. They're going to hold back 1. I guess technically not dead. No cards in hand. We're 1 short with killing him with the Hall. Not much we can do about it. Let's start with the Cruise, maybe. I guess maybe I should start with Shredder. So this is going to become a 3/5 no matter what we do. We can kill 2 creatures. They don't have a Hall. We need to find 1 more removal spell. Has to be... It doesn't have to be an axe. We just need 1 more removal spell to not be dead. Alright, so let's go Consider in hand, see events on bottom, and a Cruise. We don't have Chart, of course. We didn't find the removal spell either. Let's go ahead and play Ledger Shredder. See, we can shock to 1. So maybe we still go ahead and play Consider. We could also hit Phoenix. Okay, we hit that. See, we can shock to 1 and play removal. I should have binned it. Doesn't do anything. Now we're dead. Maybe not. Okay, let's go Chart a Course. Pitch a Phoenix. We'll go to 1, we'll kill 1. We have 2 blockers. It's not enough. I guess if they draw land, we're not dead. What's up, Scouter? Hope you're having a good day. All right, I think we're still dead now because we messed up. I don't know. Maybe I just play Shredder first, I'm fine. Alright, they have plenty of red creatures, so we'll bring in Chandra's defeat. Anger's okay. Narset, I feel like Narset could be okay, but it's gonna be more often just immediately die. Got the Pierce. Got the bar and the pieces. We'll just try to 1-for-1 them to death. It can be kind of hard though. I think it's like information overload sometimes, but that's okay. That game was tough. We had a lot of looks to find another Phoenix to be really safe, and we ended up just not finding it and dying. This hand's pretty good. We're gonna keep. This might be one of those games where we just attack and play a chart of course to draw to. No attack. Interesting. Misclick, I'm sure. What's up, F2P? Well, all right. I think I wait till my turn. Well, we just can't even do anything. Okay. And them countering our charter course was brutal. Hearst is pretty good against us. I don't think we can just take a bunch of damage here, though. I don't think we can win the game anymore. Maybe I should have discarded both treasure cruises. It's going to be hard to cast cruise. You have a Brayden? We don't have a Brayden in the deck. Unfortunate. Might be able to win with this Crackling Drake if we get lucky, though. I'm just going to concede. It's fine. Go to the next one. But, I mean, that game was all hinged on the Charter Course getting countered, right? And then game one, I probably messed up, but there's too much going on. It's so hard to parse. Ley Line of Anticipation. Okay, so they're probably a Nykthos deck. So our Lightning Axe is probably going to be okay. I do think you want like another, maybe like 2 Izzet Charms or something instead of the piece of the puzzle. All right, we just need to hit some land drops here. It's going to be one of those days, I guess. Such a good day so far, and then this. Unfortunate. 2 card draw spells, miss land, but that's okay. We can still get there. And we can even just discard a Phoenix now. We just gone through so many of our 1-mana cards already. Yeah, Blue Devotion. You don't see it too often, but Maybe I should have done this on my turn because the Nykthos is so scary, because now they can play Master Waves. I can just bounce Master Waves, I guess, but I can't deal with it for very easily. And I just didn't draw land still. I'm dead. Whatever, quit. GG. The old one-lander can't draw. Mystical Dispute's good, obviously. I think Thing the Ice is solid as well. Fry's good. Maybe Stern Dismissal as well. We can bounce the ley line. Soul Pierce can go. Flame Blast Bolt can probably go. I like Impulse and Axe, though. They kill enough stuff. Shredder Chart. Something like this. We're just playing a little more reactive. See, and I keep getting hands like this shit, you know? 5 landers, no landers, 5 landers again. Like, I feel like I have to keep this one. I've mulliganed a lot this league already, and I don't think that's because of the deck. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do about it. This hand's not even good. Guess I'll keep it because it's removal. What's up, Stu? Back from vacation, and we're thriving, and we're dancing, and we're thriving. I'm gonna play a blocker. Delay line of anticipation is really screwing me up, chap. It's just making me play weird. I don't like it. It changes the dynamic of the game. You know? Oh no. Oh mama. Oh mama. Oh mama. You don't need to play Nyx Lotus. You can just play Nyx. You know? I'm doing this now because I'm trying to force them to go for Nykthos now so that I can Mystical Dispute their Mystical Dispute and resolve my iteration. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. I want to keep the anger in case I get to untap, basically. All right, that's fine. What you got? If it's another Gadwick, I get to dispute it. Yeah, the ley line's cool. Playing everything instant speed really changes the dynamic of the game. Especially stuff like Gadwick, because it, you know, turns into Stroke of Genius or whatever. Hunger Harbinger. Alright, Harbinger. It's bounced. It's bounced, chat. Say go on 5 mana floating. Okay. Well, I'm out of time. Harbinger? 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 Harbanger. Is that how you say it? All right, float 6. Deal. I hope it's just Scry 2. Are you stream sniping, dude? Like, what the shit? So weird. It's like have to counter fucking Merfolk Trickster now. So stupid. Now they get to feel smart for only Chadwicking for 2. Can't win. Cruise off the top? I'll never get the block, so I'm going to go attacking. Never going to get to attack either. That's fine. And now they just find like Master Waves or another Chadwick. GG. Dada. That's Pioneer. Holy shit, we have a pretty good opener. First time for everything. That's true, F2P. That's true. All right, blue-eye control. This is going to be a grinder. We're going to keep the cruise because the first one's going to get countered probably. This flame blast bolt is medium. They could be, you know, they could not be blue-eye control. They could be Bant stuff. Could be blue-eye stuff. Could have bird. Could be grease fang for all I know. Watcher of the spheres. All right, I'm going to kill the bird. Shackle him. Old Rusty Shackleford. Iteration looking for removal and land. I will go Phoenix to hand, cruise on bottom, land. And we're only keeping the Phoenix because we already have a Ledger Shredder. I could have gone for pieces, but I really wanted to hit the land drop, to be honest. What's your opinion on the top 2 decks in Pioneer at the moment? Socrates. Changes every day. That's what we figure out every day. Right now, I think Phoenix is pretty good. That's why we're trying it. I really wanted to put my best foot forward into it. Really give it a shot. Give it a good go. I still think Winota's really good. But the thing about Pioneer is that you can literally just play whatever you want. It's just good. We're going to draw some cards or try to. And if it gets countered, that sucks. It doesn't get countered. We're going to draw, discard 2 Phoenixes. And the next one we're going to try to turn them on. Since they can't play, which calls it? There's no Coco. I'm not scared of that or nothing. They could just like play 2 creatures and then a Lord and hit me for 9 or something. That would be scary. Maybe I play a land and only discard 1. I think that's probably fine. I'm going to play the Hall. I'm glad they gave me the opportunity to change my mind. They're playing the Rattle Change, which means that it won't be a counterspell later, which is nice. But now they have 6 power in play. Next turn, I need to draw one more spell, but I get to go... oh, no, Shredder doesn't turn on the Phoenix. I might be in trouble here, chap. We can go... okay, so we can go pieces, chart, axe. We'll start with a chart. I want to draw a red source that doesn't deal me damage. That'd be nice. Not a whole lot left in the deck at this point, though. The Steam Vents. Maybe I'll draw any land I can play the Steam... I don't have to play the Steam Vents. Island or Stormcarved or Silkenzon or Odawara. Yeah, Pathway. Opponent is deep in the tank. Really thinking about this chart of course. Maybe I should have led with pieces. I will discard a Phoenix. Alright, well, we drew the Pathway. I'm going to go for pieces and hope that they counter it. And then with a Spell Queller. Okay. Hope this doesn't get countered. Play the pieces, see if we can find the 4th Phoenix. Take Axe and... I think I want Consider over the other pieces because we have the Cruise. We'll bring back 3 Phoenix. I kind of want to attack for 9. I'm going to protect my life total. It's going to be pretty hard for them to get through the Phoenixes, I think. Unless they have something random like Detention Sphere, Deputy Detention. But you don't really see that too much when you're not playing Collect a Company. Alright, let's shred them up. That's fine. Just hard to consider. No, we'll keep the other one. Alright, so we'll guess discard a Borrower. No, it's just a discard Stormcarved Coast. Alright, so they can tap 2 things. So we'll just not attack. Just play this waiting game. We can play the Axe, but it'll get countered by the Wanderer. You can untap first, and then the Wanderer doesn't do much. Move to attacks. Let's see if they do some tapping. Let's do no attacks. And I'm just gonna say go, I think. I could cruise for 1. Seems fine. I guess I'll opt. That way I can get the connives going. Pitch an extra shredder. Pitch a Stevens. Keep the bolt. Here we go. All right, so they'll tap another Phoenix. We'll see if they attack first before we make any decisions. They could like main phase something to start trying to tap down creatures. But we have a lot of stuff here to interact. All right, so we'll go block here, block here. All right, let's go. Let's go Flame Blessed Bolts, the Mausoleum Wanderer. They may go ahead and preemptively sack the Selfless Spirit, and then I go Fire Impulse, Eagle, Bounce Eagle. All right, that's fine. I can go Brazen Bar, the Selfless Spirit, and then once I crack it, go Impulse plus Lightning Axe. I guess I'll do that. That's fine. I'll lose the thing, but I need to force their hands. So they'll crack this. I'll pop this in response. This is a really complicated stack. I'm not sure the best way to sequence it. And it all changes based on what they do. What's up, O'Shea? This is an insane match. Sepsis redeemed the Ric Flair. Woo! That was a good one. Real guttural. All right, so this will sack. We'll go in response, impulse this. They might just let it go back to the hand. If that's the case, then it makes this real easy. And then we can just kill them with what we have in play, plus the haul, I think. All right, so in response to that, we'll fire impulse the eagle. All right, so that resolves. Petty Theft's gone. Eagle comes down. Kill this. Pitch this. That dies, that's fine. So 3, 6, 10, 11, 18. Not quite. We'll go axe in hand. You can put them to 2. And hold back 1 blocker. How do I die? Something like that. That's fine. I'm gonna leave back like 2 blockers. Gotta be a little careful. The shredders are a must. I think I win if I just don't play another spell though. Alright, anger, dispute, fry. Maybe thing in the ice. These all seem pretty good. I do think Shredder's fine. All the removal's good. Spell Pierce is bad. Something like this. Luzier, thanks for the follow. What's up, Bonnet? How you doing? Vector says, thoughts on Strangle over Flame Blast Bolt or Impulse? I think Impulse is better than Strangle, but they're both fine. Flame Blast Bolt, I think you want a couple somewhere in the mix, just because exiling is occasionally broken. But if you're in a metagame that has no things that need to be exiled, then, you know, you can just do the swap. But just like being able to exile a Phoenix in the mirror match is pretty brutal. All right, we'll keep this hand. Maybe I cut Lightning Axes, actually, because they're just likely to get countered. But it's one of my only ways to kill, like, a 4 toughness thing, if they get a 4 toughness Lord. Oh my god, they are playing green. That's really strange. Let's hope they don't have the flash 1-drop. Alright, well, if all they have is Rattle Dad, I'm pretty fine with it. We'll go ahead and play Ledger Dad. Ledgerman. The Jetterman. They're trying to hide the Coco Tech. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they had Pathway in hand, they just never played it. No play from them. That's kind of crazy. No land either. I think they might have another Rattle Chains. Moondrews, if you think Ledger was a mistake, then maybe Magic's not the game for you, friend. This card is just extremely fine. It's good, but it's not fucked up. If you want to point to something fucked up, you point to Mishra's Bauble. If you think Mishra's Bauble is not the fucked up card in like Modern or whatever, I'm just gonna say go. I don't, you know, maybe I should just go for an Impulse. I don't know. I feel like I just wait. Just chill. Now, if it connived every time you played a second spell, like a third spell, fourth spell, whatever. All right, so let's go pop Rattle Chains. I'm gonna pitch an axe. Pitch this. It is fine as standard and limited. I agree with that. All right, we're gonna attack for 4. I think I'm gonna side out Axe after this. All right, let's go Bolt the Spirit. Then we'll bolt the Rattle Chains. I do want to get counters on my thing, so I'm going to be discarding spells over Soken's. This is kind of a spell anyway. It's not a great spell, but it's a spell, kind of. Alright, we'll discard the land over the iteration. But mostly the round change is kind of keeping them honest, making them play their things at sorcery speed. Making things more tricky is bad for me. We'll play Ledger Shredder, see if they go for a counter. We're going to go iteration. If it gets countered, that's okay. My things grow. That's fine. All right, so now we'll jam on in. The only thing I don't like about Ledger Shredder is that it triggers off of your opponent's cards. I don't like that it triggers on your opponent's play. All right, our opponent's just punting here, I think. They're just giving me more connives. That's the only thing I don't like about it, but everything else I think is fine. If you don't like Ledger Shredder, then maybe Magic's just not your game, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's a cheap creature that scales as the game progresses. It's really nice. I'm gonna kill the Rattle Chains over the Wanderer. I don't know. It doesn't overwhelm either. I mean, maybe if it started as a 1-2, but they really pushed it on purpose. You know, it's a push design for sure. Cruise. Wow. Fuck. What a fucking draw that was. All right, all right. Okay, so let's do a post analysis of the deck because the deck played pretty smoothly in 3 of the 5 matches. We did mulligan quite a bit in the first couple of rounds, so I want to talk about why we do that as well as how to mitigate it. So this deck, you know, obviously we're full of the 1-mana interactive pieces, full of the 1-mana card draw effects. I think that the biggest thing about this deck that needs to change is that we need to just find another 2-drop card that can kind of work in with all the other effects. And I think that card is It Charm. I think a couple more removal spells / counter spells / ways to discard Phoenix is going to be nice. You know, we have ways to fill our hand pretty easily. I think that if piece of the puzzle just becomes 2 It Charm, I think we're in business. I think that that's basically the only thing that needs to change. And I don't even know that it quote needs to change. You know, it's just that is the change that I would personally make. Now, and we're probably going to be making it for the next league we play. The Spell Pierce was fine. It came up in some spots where it was good. But if you play the 2 It Charms, maybe it becomes the 4th Lightning Axe. Maybe it becomes the 4th Fire Impulse. Something like that. The 1 Crackling Drake, I don't think is necessary in the main deck. I think Ledger Shredder, Phoenix, and the Hall of the Storm Giants is enough for game 1. But it was really good against Mono Green in that one game. So I don't hate it. I didn't board it out very often. I do think he boarded out against non-interactive matchups, though. The sideboard was a little hit or miss. I like the idea of the Thing in the Ice, but I never came close to transforming one, which is kind of why it got cut from the main deck in the first place, so I might just trim those completely. The Nart sets are cool, but they're kind of expensive. I don't know that I love them, but I you know, they're there and they're okay. The Anger of the Gods was great. I might want a second. The Chandra's Defeat were not drawn, but I do like them against mono red, and they're pretty good against the Prowess deck. It's kind of weird because the Prowess deck splits you on the removal because they have red creatures and blue creatures. So either Gus is okay, Chandra's Defeat's okay, Fry's okay, but none of them are great because they don't take care of everything. Flame Blast Bolt was lackluster in the matchup because everything has 2 toughness to start and has prowess. And we just found ourselves just not being able to kill stuff sometimes, which is a bummer. The 2 matchups we lost to Prowess and we lost to Mono Blue Devotion. 2 decks that are kind of tricky to play against because they have some counterplay. They do some weird stuff at instant speed sometimes. And their creatures are somewhat insulated against damage-based removal thanks to protection for red from Master Waves, or just like high toughness from the Prowess creature sometimes. So I'm not really sure how to mitigate that. I might want another 1-drop removal spell. I think I already said that, but I think just there were 2. It was too often where I had a Ledger Shredder on 3 and nothing really to do with it, and I really needed something to impact the board. So 4th Fire Impulse, maybe 1 copy of Strangle. Maybe Strangle in general is just better than some of the impulses and Flame Blast Bolts, especially because we're pretty aggressively eating our graveyard with Treasure Cruise. And if we turn the pieces into Is It Charms, maybe we don't need it though, because that is another cheap piece of interaction. I'm not in love with all 3 Chart of Course. I felt like we didn't have much trouble getting Phoenix into the graveyard. If you go back up to 4 Lightning Axe, I think Chart of Course swap could be okay. Just -1 chart for +1 axe. But I don't really want to go minus a chart and then plus Is It Charms, because then we have 6 things that are card advantage negative with Is It Charm and Lightning Axe. The Chandra Torch of Defiance single-handedly won me my first round, so pretty happy about that. I don't know. This deck is not nearly as vulnerable to Recipes as it seems. We beat a Recipes 1 round. It was kind of nice. The Unlicensed Hearse were bad news, though. I think Unlicensed Hearse needs to have an answer. We got to have a Braid or something. Maybe a Braid main deck's not that bad anyway, right? Kills a lot of stuff. Random artifacts running around that give us headaches. Maybe Borrower is enough for game 1, but after sideboard, the Hearses are just too brutal. What else? I mean, because they're... So Unlicensed Hearse is this weird counterpoint where most graveyard destruction, like, exiles your graveyard and draws a card. And Phoenix is really good against playing against decks that can eat your graveyard and then draw a card, because, like, you just end up drawing more cards over time than your opponent. But when your opponent eats your graveyard and then that creature, or that card that eats the graveyard becomes a 6/6, that's bad. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. You just have to kill it. So I don't really know what else to do other than just some Braids. I don't think the raise the effigy is worth. I think I'd probably just play Braid. Anyway, that's going to do it for this version of Phoenix. We'll make some changes in a second, but I'm going to take a breather here, talk to chat.